Moroka Swallows' financial troubles have been well documented in recent times, but the situation reached an all-time low when the players boycotted the Mamelodi Sundowns fixture due to unpaid salaries. Swallows legend Steve Sekano lamented the unfortunate situation.
It was a disaster for Moroka Swallows. I mean, Moroka Swallows is a big team. As we all know, those are big threes. We have Kaizer Chiefs, we have Orlando Pirates, we have Moroka Swallows and Sundowns. But the big teams that we know is Moroka Swallows, it's Orlando Pirates, it's Kaizer Chiefs. Now, if Moroka Swallows, such a big team, go through such, things happening in the team, you become so disappointed.
A couple of weeks ago, the players also threatened to boycott the SuperSport United match after they had not attended a single training session for 10 days. The players eventually honored the fixture after they were paid on the eve of the match.
Salary issue is very bad at Swallows, knowing that before SuperSport game, players didn't train for the past 2 weeks, which is were waiting for their salaries. Salaries didn't come, but salaries came on the Friday before the game on Saturday, which is something that happened, which is, it's painful for players as well because of they have things to pay, they've got bonds to pay, they've got cars to pay, they've got families as well, which is, imagine if you go to playing for a professional team, then you can't support your family. I mean, it's a disaster. People tomorrow they'll be talking of players to say players are down and out, players are going through a lot.
Sekano was part of the team in the golden era in the 80s, when Swallows won the Bob Save Super Bowl in 1989 and 1991. He is worried some of the players might now be tempted to leave the club during the January transfer window.
This is a very big challenge. As you know that, players already now, wherever they are sitting now, they don't know what's happening. And don't forget, January is an open window for teams to buy players. Now it's too, you don't know what to do now because of if you're not paid and let's say a team is looking for you to come and join them. Now what are you going to do? You don't know because you've got a contract, but at the same time you are binded by the contract. At the same time you want to go somewhere else.
Swallows secured a telecom sponsorship in 2021, but it was annulled by the PSL because of an apparent conflict with its own sponsors. Sekano says that was a big blow.
Telecom sponsor was a big sponsor for Swallows. That impacted Swallows big time because of what I heard there was already budget made for the team for the whole season. Everything was done, But then after the PSL decided no, you cannot have that sponsor, then everything just changed.
There are media reports claiming that Chairman David Muhasho is diverting funds from the club to Upington City, which is allegedly run by his daughter. It is also reported that he bought a bus for the team from the Northern Cape campaigning in the National First Division.
What I heard is that Mr. Muhashwa is making sure that this team, Upington City, is run professionally because they're sponsored by Puma. They've got everything, salaries on time, everything is done on time. They don't have issues, and then which is, imagine if he does that, but, abandoning Swallows being the big team, it doesn't make sense for me.
There is also an alleged rift between Muhasho and the former president Panyaza Lesufi, who helped to revive the team from the doldrums.
Most of the people who are around Panyaza, they'll tell you that Mr. Muhasho doesn't want to listen to anybody. He wants to do things by himself, which is a challenge. You cannot run a team by yourself. You have to have advices.
Sekano also wishes that Muhasho will relinquish his position as the chairman of the club, especially with other parties interested in buying a team.
If you get somebody who's like a billionaire in the game, Dr. Louis Late's son has been there, he understands sports, he's been in sports, even though the time when we were playing, during the time of Ntate Chabedi, the late Ntate Chabedi, Dr. Louis Late ran the team. We were treated professionally by then. Now, I believe if someone like him comes in, he'll make sure that Swallows will be one of the best teams.
Swallows are still in 9th place on the DSTV Premiership log, despite all the shenanigans behind the scenes. Vincent Sitsura, SABC News, Johannesburg.